Hey, Willis Show fans, coming up next, Christina Turner is going to be here with us. She is a former professional wrestler and also a current Twitch streamer. She's big into gaming, she's big into horror, and she's big into comic books. We'll talk to her next. That's all coming up right here on The Willis Show. Hey everybody, welcome back into the Willis Show. My guest this evening, Christina Turner, aka, yeah, you might know her from the independent wrestling circuit as Christi Whiplash. It is good to see you. It's been such a long time.
I know it has been a good minute. It has.
Yeah, it really has. First, I just want to say congratulations. I don't know if I got to formally say this. We talked a little bit earlier, but you
Yeah.
actually got married back in March.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
that is, yep, that's right. Thank you very much. We went ahead and just kind of tied the knot, and when things calm down a little bit more with COVID and all that kind of mess, we're going to have our official ceremony. So
That's awesome.
lots of stuff to look forward to.
Yeah, your hubby messaged me earlier just to introduce himself. Seems like a really
Yeah,
cool guy. Maybe on down the road, maybe I can meet him and get to know him a little bit, and that would be awesome. Yeah, it's
absolutely. That'd be
very
great.
very cool. So, I just want to go back in time. When we met, we were kind of running a lot of the same circles, and you were a professional wrestler.
Yes.
How long did you do that?
Oh, wow. I did that for a good, I would say in total, a good 7 years.
7 years
7 years. Yep.
in wrestling.
That's right.
So I get I'm gonna ask all the questions I don't know about you, or
Oh,
maybe
you're
never got a chance to ask.
good. Go
So
ahead.
so where were you trained, or
I
and by
was
who?
actually Shadow Jackson was my trainer, my
Okay,
main one.
I'm familiar with that name. Yeah.
And that was mainly over in Williamston, South Carolina, kind of close to Anderson and stuff like that.
Okay.
At the time, I lived in Powdersville, and right after high school, right after I graduated, I was 18. I got a job, and then I found someone. I think back in MySpace days, that's where we met.
Mm,
I knew a couple buddies that knew who Shadow was, and like, hey, he trains wrestlers and stuff. And I'm like, nice. So that's kind of how it worked out.
so is this just something you always wanted to do and wanted to try, or you
Oh
grew up
Lord,
grew up watching
yes.
it? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I grew up watching it. Oh my gosh, my dad. The very first show I saw was at the old Greenville Memorial Auditorium over in Greenville, South Carolina, and it was one of the last matches they had, and it was WCW. And his buddy gave him tickets, and we went and watched the show. And I just like, I was mesmerized by everything. It was excellent, and I was doomed from then on out.
So you unfortunately you probably got in around the same time that I did, because so I jump in and then all of a sudden WCW's gone.
Yep.
And there's
Yeah.
one less place to aspire to, you know, like
Yeah,
that now.
that's right. That was
Now,
back in the feud days and stuff. I remember because I grew up watching WCW, and then I was
uh
like, "Hey, what's this feud with WWF?" So,
yeah, I was gonna say I remember being young. I didn't know what WWF was
yeah, I didn't either at the time.
back in the day, because we didn't have a station that carried it. I'm aging myself here. I mean
Yeah,
this is back before everyone had cable or streaming or something like that. You know, I'm,
yeah.
I'm talking about back in the rabbit ear days. So so you get trained. When did you make your debut?
I actually started officially wrestling about 4 months in after being trained.
Uh huh.
And it was at the Williamson like City Hall. I think that's where it was.
Hmm.
And I had my first match, and it was actually against a dude, which is pretty awesome. I don't know
That's
if
big.
anybody, I don't know if you remember Superstar Aaron Lee.
The name sounds familiar, but I don't know
Yeah,
if
a
I've ever
long time ago.
met
Yeah,
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But I wrestled him, and then of course I wrestled women and stuff too. But
Now what?
that was my first match.
Now what year was this? Are we talking?
I would probably say I graduated in '07,
Hmm.
so I think it was like early '08, late '07, something like that.
Okay. Okay. And you said you ran for 4 years, or no, I'm sorry, 7 years. You said, right?
Yeah, about seven. Yep.
About 7 years. So I have to ask this question: is as hot as ladies wrestling is now, and I mean, it seems like it's more popular than ever before, and especially
So I hear.
on an independent level, it seems like more and more, especially in the last, I'd say 5 to 7 years, there's more ladies being booked than ever before. So what made the decision? You say, okay, I for whatever reason, I've got to stop wrestling.
It was a mixture of a lot of things, and I think back then there weren't really that many women wrestlers, and the ones that
Hmm.
were around were just kind of like managers or something like that.
Hmm.
And so, I mean, I was wrestling guys, and which was fine with me. You know, they could keep up with me, so I was like, hey, that's
Sure.
fine with me.
Right.
So, yeah, like I was wrestling them, and then just a lot of stuff like personal life was going on, and I know everybody kept telling me that I wouldn't really get anywhere unless I started wrestling a bunch of female wrestlers and stuff, and there just weren't any around at the time. So that was kind of discouraging, you know, because obviously I wanted to get somewhere. So,
Yeah, you're like
um,
right in that in between period
yeah,
where it was, if you maybe held on a few more years, it was going to blow up.
yeah, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. I haven't watched wrestling here lately. I kind of pop in every now and then because when I watched it a couple years ago, I was like, man, it has changed so much. I don't know how to deal with it. It was
Yeah.
insane.
Um, I mean, so you don't watch much of the current product. Do you watch AEW at all? Have you ever
Yeah,
tried?
I actually watch more of that than I do WWE. I think on WWE, it's just so many new people. I don't even know where to start, you know? So it's kind of confusing in a manner.
And the thing I dig about AEW, especially with them having, the two YouTube shows, is like, there's guy, hey, I worked with him, or I know him, or
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
So that's what's cool about that. I mean, in WWE, we've got Jackson Riker, who used to be Phil Shatter, and then we've got
Yep.
Cedric Alexander, and then that's about it for me.
Yeah, I remember all those guys, and I was like, oh my gosh, all these dudes are there. That's awesome.
I talked to John Schuyler the other day, and we found a
Hmm.
found a picture, but when he was just a fan, and it's him and Shatter, and I was
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I said, hey John, I said, did you think back 10 years ago this guy would be like your contemporary? And he goes,
I know.
and he goes, honestly, probably not.
That's
So
pretty funny.
yeah, so okay, so we're we touched on the business a little bit, so we're out of the business. Now you're a big nerd like me.
Oh God, yes.
You're like huge in the. You're a big Captain America fan, right? That's like
Oh
you're,
yes.
you're a
Anybody that
guy when
knows
it
me.
comes to
Yep.
comics.
Oh
Um,
yes.
so where did the love of Cap come from? And is it a Chris Evans thing, or is it just, oh, you've always loved Cap?
I'm glad you actually brought that up because I always make sure I tell people that it's not because of the movies.
Right.
No. Like I've read and I've dabbled in obviously the old school comic books and stuff
Mhm.
like that. I don't know like in depth about them, but I do know enough to know that I like it. And of course, you know, years later the movies and stuff come out, which made me love them even more. So it wasn't like I'm just some fangirl, like, oh my God, Chris Evans, yay.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. No.
so
No, because a lot of people are. I mean, it's just in the last, I guess, in the last decade with the Marvel movies and everything.
yeah.
Like I can remember going to school, and if I wore a Spider-Man shirt, I was like, wow, that was like the least cool thing to wear.
Yeah, exactly. I was like,
Yeah.
everybody wears Spider-Man shirts.
I'm really aging myself here, because I mean that's back, but um, I went to visit my dad one time, and he's wearing an Iron Man shirt, and I was like, you too, Dad, you too.
Yeah, Team
Because when
Iron
I was
Man.
when I was collecting, comics, he always encouraged me to collect them, because I don't know, he was a big thing about holding on to things for years and years and seeing if they'd be worth something and things like that.
Yeah,
But he's
that's
wearing
pretty
the
funny.
Iron Man shirt, and I'm like, and he goes, no man, he goes, this shirt was only $5. I don't care if it's got Iron Man on it.
That's pretty funny.
Um,
Oh my
I'm gonna
goodness.
I'm gonna I'm gonna throw in a little edit here. I gotta let the dog out. Give me 1 second.
Okay, no, you're
She,
good.
she's 16 years old, and she's pacing the floor. All right, girl. There you go. Okay, sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, let me get a little. It's been so hot. I've been thirsty all day.
Our air conditioner unit went out in the den yesterday, and we just got it today, and it was miserable.
Oh,
It was terrible.
I I might leave this in. I came home from a wrestling trip one time. 3 days. Okay. We worked. Hacksaw Jim Duggan actually ran a show in Lugoff, Elgin.
Yeah.
So I ring announced for him. We had done I think we did a CWA show Friday, and then Sunday we did a show in Columbia.
Okay.
So I'm on the road 3 days. I'm with Danny Dollar and Malachi. I get no sleep. Of course, I get no sleep. And
Oh gosh.
we went out to some of the after hours clubs and stuff. And I call home on Sunday night, and I said, okay, honey, I'm telling my wife, I said, I'm finally coming home, and she goes, we have no AC.
Oh
The AC
gosh.
unit. So I come home, and I'm looking at the hallway temperature, and it's like 91. And
Oh
I
my
just remember
God.
I just
No.
remember being miserable. I was like, I'm hungover, I'm tired, and now this air doesn't work.
Yeah, that is not a good thing to have when you're hungover or something. Is heat.
Yeah.
No way.
But what it just to to keep to finish up the story, what had happened is like there was like a clog in the condensate line, so the drain
Yeah.
pan had overfilled. So you could run it if we wanted our ceiling destroyed, but
Yeah, oh my
otherwise.
gosh.
Oh, yeah. So I could understand that. So it being hot and miserable because I talked to a lot of one of my favorite podcasts is out of Canada, and I talked to those guys a little bit back and forth. But I said if you've never traveled down here, you say you don't, especially Charleston near the beach, the humidity, you can't appreciate heat. Like I lived out in the desert for a while, but I mean
Yeah.
it could be 100 during the day, but it cools off at night to like 65.
God.
It's gorgeous, but not here. That humidity just holds everything in,
Yes. The
and
sticky
then
feeling on your skin.
you're
Ugh.
done. Yeah. So I was we'll leave that in. I'll piece that in, but let's go
That's
back.
awesome.
Oh no, I just tend to go all over the place. So let's go back to Captain America for a bit. So, do you have like a big Captain America collection of books, or
I do have like a bunch of comic books. All my other stuff is like in the den on the shelves, but
yeah?
I do have like a stack of comic books, just like, I don't know if you can see, but it's a good bit.
Yeah.
And I have the Marvel Encyclopedia. I even have like this huge, like, I think it's about 2.5 feet tall statue of Captain America and a
Oh,
couple of
awesome!
figurines and
Yeah,
stuff.
there you go.
Plenty of posters, shirts. Oh my God, I have more Captain America and Marvel T-shirts than I own in anything. It's
Um,
crazy.
I used to own a comic store.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I still have some posters left. I might have to get your address and just send you some because I've got
Oh, that would be
the
awesome.
promotional posters that they send them in, and then they're folded, but
Hmm.
I think I have stacks of these posters somewhere that I just don't have anything to do with.
Wow, that would be.
I hope I didn't throw them out one day just in like I got to get rid of these, but I'll go through and I'll check if I've got any Cap stuff
Oh, sweet. That'd be awesome.
because my buddy Roughhouse, he's a big Fantastic Four fan. So when they did all
Yeah.
those did a lot of those Marvel relaunches, the new number ones would come out. And I'm like, hey, dude, I got some FF stuff. Let me just give you. He's like, you
Hell
don't
yeah,
want to.
that's awesome.
He's like, you don't want to sell them. I'm like, nah. I said when they're folded, they're a tough sell, But I was like, I will give you, the promotional stuff. They'd send more posters than I could ever. I had a really small store. They'd send more posters than I could ever hang on
Keep
a
up
wall.
with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hang on a wall or do a promotional thing like that. So I'm going to transition a little bit. What's
Okay.
the obsession with horror? Is that like old school horror? Or is that like any horror?
No, not. It's pretty much all of it, but mainly like the old school horror films. Like one of my favorites is the 1922 Nosferatu.
Oh my god!
That
Oh
yeah,
wow!
I'm not the
Yeah.
1937 one. That
No,
one's
no,
kind of
no.
weird. No, no,
Yeah,
no.
the silent
The night.
film. Yeah,
Yes, I
yeah.
own it. I have collectibles of it and everything, and that's one of my favorite films. It's wonderful, and but anyway, yeah, pretty much I'm more into like the old school classic vintage films, like a lot of the movies that have came out nowadays, like the Conjuring movies. I'm just like,
Oh, geez.
that doesn't impress me anymore. Like, no, like stuff like that. It's like, come on, it's too.
I
Oh,
was. That's funny you said that because I was. If you didn't hit on it, I was going to the whole Conjuring series. It's like,
I'm
yeah,
like, it makes me sick, honestly.
I'm this huge horror fan. Yeah, what's your favorite horror movie? Oh, that Conjuring series is awesome. No,
I'm like, when I hear that, I know automatically, like, yep, I can't have a conversation. That's not happening. So,
I actually made a video on the channel. The reason and this is probably the reason I dislike the Conjuring series so much. One, I've always been scared of dolls as a child, especially the realistic, creepy ones. Those freak
not
me
a
out.
fan.
So, like those old '80s movies were like, I don't know, like the doll would be the killer. Not Child's Play. I'm talking about some stuff even before that, like with the ventriloquist, like that episode of Twilight Zone.
Puppet Master.
Oh yeah, all
like
that stuff used to just creep me out.
Demonic toys. Oh my god.
Yeah, that stuff used to creep me out. But my biggest bugaboo with Conjuring is that it's by New Line, and New Line is making so much money off that. It's like we're never going to get back to Nightmare on Elm Street, which makes me incredibly sad. Yeah. So I'd made a little small video about that. I mean the reboot was bad, but I was like, there's so much that could still be done with this series, and I'm jonesing for some Freddy. Like, I thought Halloween.
I need some good Freddy.
Yeah,
come on.
I mean, I thought the Halloween remake was amazing. I thought they did really good stuff with that.
I was a huge fan of that.
Yeah, they did some good stuff with that, and that. See, if you remake it and you remake it right, and people that are like fans of the series that kind of understand the characters, now we're gonna get 2 more movies. I'm really looking forward to Halloween Kills.
Oh my gosh, I'm so hyped.
Yeah, that's
great.
Yeah, and I was like, why can't we do that when I see so many cool like Nightmare fan films or concept trailers, and I'm like, these folks know how to do this better than a major studio.
That I know their concept and ideas are so much better.
Yeah,
I even remember there was supposed to be a movie back when Freddy versus Jason came out. There were like talks about Freddy versus Jason versus Ash from Evil Dead.
Yes, you're correct.
I remember that, and I was like, oh my god, I'm still holding on to that, and that was like a long time ago.
Well, if you can find it, they actually did a comic book. They took the original. Yeah, they took the original concept from a lot of the script ideas they got, and they made 2 miniseries comics out of it.
Oh my gosh!
Now finding
my
the
mind
original.
is blown.
Yeah, now finding
wow,
the original comics is kind of tough because.
Yeah.
Well, for one thing, it was drawn by an artist who's like extremely popular. Have you heard of J. Scott Campbell?
It doesn't ring a bell right now. I'm not sure. I don't think so.
He does a lot of cover work, but this might be back before your time, but when Image first started like Spawn and everything, he did this comic book called Gen 13, which is really popular. But he's a cheesecake guy, you know what I mean? So a lot of dudes dig the stuff, and usually when he puts out a Spider-Man cover, I try to get it.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I didn't know.
Yeah, here I'm your comic historian, so don't worry if you've got any questions.
I'm gonna have to come to you for real because I'm always looking for information. So I'm remembering that.
Like I said, I hate to get off on side stories, but I'll just give you one more. So my mother's moving, and she's moving to Cross, and the manager of the property, he comes up to me. I just got the Spidey Venom tattoo. I don't know.
Oh my Venom! What? Oh my god! Yes.
I'm trying to turn my arm so you can.
I can kind of see it. Yeah.
Yeah. There it is. It's on the forearm, so it's kind of awkward.
Oh, the Spider-Man and Venom. Oh,
yeah,
wow,
it's a composite.
Great.
Yeah. So he notices the tattoo and he says, "Hey man, you're a big Venom Spider-Man fan." I said, "Oh yeah." I said, believe it or not, when I was younger, I was like 10 issues away from having the entire series.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Well, finances and sometimes you have to sell off stuff because so not anymore, but back then I did. And he's like, yeah, I really like that issue, the first Green Goblin, and he said number 16, and I said, I have to correct you, it's number 14.
Yeah, you said not number 16, number 14.
Oh, I had to, yeah,
That's what I heard.
when I had to correct that when I had to
Yep.
correct that property manager. Yeah, it's so funny. And then I was thinking, man, I'm getting ready to interview Christy, and this guy's talking
Mm.
about his old school gaming collection. I'm like, oh my god. Well, what do you have? And he said, well, what's your favorite console? And I said, honestly, I grew up with like Atari and all that old school stuff.
Oh yeah.
I said, but the N64 is probably my favorite. Just the games on the Nintendo 64.
You're the only other person that agrees with me on that. Like
Really? No, I'm
I
shocked.
still have my Nintendo 64.
Yeah, I
I have a
love
lot of
that
stuff. Oh my
console.
gosh.
Yeah, we do too. I like the Zelda games, and then
Mhm.
I'm trying to reach. What's that? Oh God, Majora's Mask came out for that
Oh
console,
yeah, yeah.
and then of course it was the Super Mario 64 that had the
Mhm.
the castle, and you jumped through the pictures and went to these different worlds. I
Yep.
love that game.
That was awesome.
And then
Have you
also,
ever?
go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead.
No,
I was gonna
ask
say
away.
because a lot of people have never heard of this game on the Nintendo 64. But have you ever heard of Space Station Silicon Valley?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I've never
Oh
played it,
my
but I've heard
gosh.
of it.
That nobody has ever heard of that, and I'm telling you, that is my favorite game on the N64. It is fantastic. It's
I
so
have to.
weird, but it's awesome. It's
No,
awesome.
I'd have to find it and I'd have to find it and try it because we have one here.
Yeah.
The reason I got our old refurbished N64 and kept it, that was WCW Mayhem was on that was on
I've
that
got that
console,
game.
and I
I've
was
got it,
like,
and I still play it.
that was one of my favorite that and No Mercy. That was like two of the greatest
I loved WrestleMania 2000. That one was. I love that one for some reason.
I don't know. I wasn't so big into that. I love No Mercy. I don't know
Yeah,
what
that
it is.
was
I don't
good.
know what it is about, but those two games were like, and I spent. It's really funny. Like Ric Flair was in that contract dispute around the time the that game came out.
Yeah.
So you had to go through all this stuff to unlock him, and I'm like, damn it, I want all four horsemen. I'm unlocking Rick. I don't care what I got to do. You know.
That's funny. It's like I'm gonna grind until I get it.
Mhm.
Oh wow.
And then well, then later on, cheat codes came out, and I was like, okay, this is not, I'm not killing myself to try to
Yep.
unlock him anymore.
The
But at the
beauty of
time,
cheat codes.
yeah, but at the time, it's like, oh my god, it's like you had to go through hell to unlock Ric Flair, and I'm like, dude, come on now, this is even cool.
Some of those
So
games were hard on the Nintendo 64. Like some of them were difficult.
yeah,
It was
it's no,
crazy.
I found that, remember Ninja Gaiden for like the original Nintendo?
Yes, I do.
That was a
Yes.
pain in the rear end.
That was oh my that's probably one of the most not most difficult, but that was weird. I don't know. It was just
Yeah.
kind of weird.
I mean, I like the game. It's like the first time you ever had. Of course, it's what is it, 8-bit or whatever. But
Yeah.
the little scrolling animations and stuff like that. In the time, I remember thinking, "Oh, this is so cool." But then
Oh my god.
you get into the gameplay, and it's like, what?
What?
Yeah, this is not made for children. You know?
Yes, very much so. It was very strange.
And then, of course, later on, they come out with the one for the original Xbox. And
Yeah, I think so.
and
Yeah,
that
the
would give you
original.
and that one would give you nosebleeds too. That was not
I
an
haven't
easy
seen that
game.
one, but I do remember it.
Oh, it was. I mean, for its time, the graphics were amazing. But you talk about a game that was difficult to finish. Oh my gosh, it was just like I feel like some of those levels were like near impossible. Then once you kind of figure it out, it's like okay, now but you got to jump at exactly the right time, and you got to time it at exactly the right time.
Yeah.
It was wild. Yeah, we could talk about video games forever.
And I was about to say I have so many things that I'm like, no, I'm gonna be here all night, like talking about it.
No, I mean we've got some time, so
Yeah.
if there's something you want to throw in there, it's cool. Yeah. So tell me. Oh well, I guess let's go into this for a little while. So tell me about the Twitch streaming. What's going on there? How did we get into all that?
Oh yeah, that's brand spanking new. Like
Yeah, that's your new deal. So yeah, tell me a
yeah,
little
I've
bit about
been
that.
really enjoying it. Me and my best friend actually we're starting out doing it together. We're both huge gamers and stuff, and we're like, well, heck, we feel like we might be goofy enough and good enough to stream and get people to like us. I don't know. So we
It
tried
never
it out.
hurts.
Yeah, and we're just like, hey, let's just see if people like how we are, you know. So we first got on there with no cams. We just had basic stuff, and we just were like, let's see how it happens. We'd get like one extra person pop in, and we're like, oh, there's somebody watching us. We're like, oh my God, we're popular. But it was just something her and I really wanted to do, and just kind of see if it went somewhere pretty much. And apparently, I mean, we're doing pretty well. We're getting followers little by little. I mean, I know it's not a lot of people's like cup of tea, and I get it. But
Yeah, but you got 12-year-old millionaires on YouTube, and that's all they do is stream.
There you go. Yeah,
and they stream for hours. Like, it's like he's 5 hours into his live stream, and I was like, I don't have 5 hours consecutive total all day
to watch. Yeah,
to do any of that. It's like. It's like I was like, all right, I got Christy. I said I can block out an hour or so, or an hour and a half, or however long she wants to go. But I mean, I've literally kicked everybody out of this room. There is a sign. There's a sign on my door that says Jason is taping. Do not disturb.
I need one of those for the bedroom because I have the whole setup and everything in here, and I chill out on the bed. And I need me a do not disturb sign out there too, and I really need one.
Yeah, I mean, we have a couple of studios here in town, and I have my choice, but it's not good for, like you. Okay, we're doing this just to let the audience know we're doing this on a Tuesday evening. This might go up Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah.
Because I know you and we kind of went back and forth. We had so much trouble with the logistics trying to get everything, trying to find a night. Not everybody can do, Sunday at 1:00, which is usually when my producer's available. I mean, I was lucky with people like, oh gosh, I had a brain fart. Well, Prince Nana was one, and Cheerleader Melissa was another.
Yeah.
And I lucked out with them, being able to do it on a Sunday from the studio, because everything from the studio looks better. I mean, we've got, green screen with chroma key, and and we've got all the big equipment there. But I was like, I've got to find a way to make it more a little convenient for people. So I grabbed this app, and it works pretty good for me. So
That's
Switcher,
awesome.
so Switcher Studio, they are not a sponsor. This is not paid promotion, so YouTube don't flag me or anything.
Yeah. Do not flag him.
Yeah. So what are we playing? What's the big thing? I'm not a huge, as far as like new stuff. I'm not a huge gamer. Like, I mean, if Madden comes out, I'm there. I'm a big sports guy.
Yeah.
So what are we playing right now? What's the big game?
So right now we're really just starting with Fortnite. I mean, I know some people are like, "Oh my gosh, Fortnite," but we really play it because it's fun, and we have a good time doing it. It's just something. It's kind of like a stress reliever. We can just get on there and just goof off, and if we win, we win. If not, we don't. And it's just really fun. And obviously, there's going to be a lot more games. I know on my end. She's going to do single player stuff. I'm wanting to do single player stuff, and even other things together. A couple things that I really want to do and start streaming is Dead by Daylight. I really want to do that.
Love that game.
Oh my gosh, I'm going to go insane on that game. I'm telling you, I want to play it so bad on stream. Definitely can't wait for that.
I mean, it's kind of repetitive in a way, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I just like to test myself against the killer.
Yeah.
So it's such a cool competitive thing that, like, I mean, I could literally spend hours on it. I know I've spent I've spent like 3 or 4 hours on it, like on a weekend.
That's
awesome. And my wife's like, "Are you gonna get tired of playing this?" And I said, she goes, "It just looks it looks repetitive." I said, "Well, there's only so many world or levels,
But it's different every time.
But when you play online, when you play online, it's a different challenge every time. So you're never playing the same person.
Game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, and some people are like really good, and I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible killer. I'm the worst.
Yeah, I have it on Game Pass, and I'm gonna test it out and just kind of play around with it and practice a little more. Yeah. And I want to definitely stream it on my PS4 because I don't know, that's my baby.
Yeah, I know, and I
So
got you.
so once I get used to it and how I'm doing and stuff, I'll probably buy it for my PlayStation and start streaming it. I'm looking at maybe hopefully within the next few weeks to a month or something like that, trying to get everything worked out to where I can set up some time and do that. Maybe get some people to like join in that I know or something
Hey,
like,
um,
hey,
drop me. I know
there
you
you
can.
go.
I know you can cross platform on it.
Yep,
You know, like
you
drop
can.
me a gamer kit tag, and maybe one day if you decide to do a stream, I can join you on Xbox or something.
Yeah, I definitely would do that.
I got an Xbox One. I'm
Okay.
still that one gen behind. All the new stuff's out.
Yeah, we have an
Yeah,
Xbox One, and then he just had got the Series X several weeks ago, and so we kind of have like a little
yeah.
collection of systems in the house. So
How does he like that? Is
he is obsessed with it. I think he's more in love with it than he is me. So
Oh wow.
no, no, but it's cool though because I love it too. I'm in love with it too, and
Yeah.
it's the graphics and the speed. I mean, it's just it really is all it's worth. I don't know. It's just worth it. It really is.
Yeah. Everybody that I know that's got one just raves over it. Well, I mean, there's still the Sony people versus the Microsoft people. I mean, I hear people
Yeah,
raving over the PS5 too. I would want the PS5 for the Spider-Man games.
for the exclusives, really,
Yeah,
that's what
yeah.
they're doing. Yep.
Because I think right before PS5 came out was the Spider-Man game that had Peter Parker in it, where he's got the big white spider on his chest. But then they came
Oh,
out,
okay.
but they came out with the Miles Morales
Yeah, I remember
game,
that
the
one.
sequel. So yeah, and I've like I said, they're Sony exclusives, so I can't play them on Xbox.
Yeah.
Um, Reason I got Xbox in the first place, I was hearing stuff like Batman was going to be Xbox exclusive, but I think it went
Oh wow.
ended up being cross platform after
Yeah.
all. So that and I wanted to drive the Batmobile, so
Yeah.
you know,
Gotta drive the
yeah.
Batmobile.
Even though some of the like in the main story, like some of the missions with the Batmobile are lame.
Yeah.
But as far as like driving around Gotham, yeah, you can't beat that. That's
That
fun.
would be just fun just to do that, just to drive around the Batmobile for a while.
That's all I did. That's all I did. I was like, yeah, I've got all these missions I've got to solve, but I'm just going around and like, it's really funny because it's because it's a rated M game,
Yeah.
but there's like no lethality to supposedly you're like shocking these people with like as a text message coming in. Um,
People bothering us.
they're like non-lethal, bullets or whatever. So you look like you're killing somebody, but you're not technically.
Oh,
But
come on. What?
but it looks like you're killing somebody. Well, Batman
Yeah.
doesn't kill. Batman doesn't kill. Well, he killed in the
Yeah.
40s, but he doesn't kill right now.
He doesn't kill right now. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he kind of killed Roz in the movie.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not gonna kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Oh my gosh.
My
That's pretty
favorite.
funny.
No, that's my favorite. That's my favorite Batman voice of
Oh
all
god.
time.
Yeah.
Where is he?
Oh my gosh.
And now I made myself cough again.
Trying too hard.
Yeah, I know. You merely adopted the dog. I was born in it. No,
That's
man.
great.
No, man. Chris Nolan, man. I love those movies. And
Yeah.
I even loved Affleck. Like everybody was like, "Oh God, we remember Daredevil. That's gonna suck so bad." But the movies kind of sucked, but he was good in it. You know?
Yeah, true. I was like, the
Yeah,
story sucked. It wasn't
yeah.
him.
Nuh-uh. He was, and I mean, I had this discussion with my mother the other day, and I said, "Yeah, you don't realize Ben Affleck's like a big guy. He's like 6'5".
Yeah.
And she goes, "He's really that tall?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "You don't watch superhero movies, but like I do." I said, "But watch the Superman, Batman, just to watch him working out and
Yeah.
what kind of shape he got in." I was like, "Dude," I said, he looks
Hmm.
like the Dark Knight Returns Batman, a little bit old, a little bit older, and a little bit saltier, and
Yeah.
I thought he did a good job. It's just the plots were terrible.
I don't think I watched the second. I know I remember watching the first Dark Knight, but I haven't really been huge into DC up until here lately. But I haven't really seen a lot of the Batman movies. I mean, I remember watching the old school ones and stuff, but
Oh,
nowadays I
Michael
haven't really
Keaton. I
seen a lot of
still
them.
watch the Michael Keaton
Yeah,
ones to
he's
this
probably my
day.
favorite Batman. He's
Yeah.
my favorite Batman. I'm sorry.
It's
He is.
definitely my it's definitely my favorite bat suit,
Yeah.
before they put nipples on it,
I
Joe
was, I was
Schumacher.
thinking about that. Was it that Val Kilmer when he was Batman? Wasn't
Yeah.
that the one where
Val
had? Oh
Kilmer
my
and then
gosh!
George Clooney for the next one, because
Oh
I'm trying to
Lord.
remember what I think it was because they had a fit over Batman Returns being so dark. And so on the third movie, Tim Burton's just like kind of like a consultant, and then they said we got to lighten this up because we
Oh
got to
God,
sell.
Tim Burton was involved. Oh gosh.
Oh, Tim Burton for the first two
That's-
movies, yeah.
oh
You
wow, I didn't
oh
know
you didn't
that.
know that? No, yeah,
No, I didn't know that.
yeah. First two flicks
I
was Tim
didn't.
Burton, yeah.
That's
Then
pretty cool, actually. I
oh
never
that's
would have
what
guessed that.
that's part of the reason why the sets on the first couple of movies are so amazing, yeah. Like it's not traditional Batman because Tim Burton's not a comic book fan by any means.
Yeah.
But I'm such a huge mark for Jack Nicholson. I mean, that guy
Well,
can
who
do
isn't?
that guy can do like no wrong in my eyes. I mean, like every movie that he makes, I end up enjoying on some level. Not that they're always the greatest movie, but like
I agree, though.
as good as it gets, that'll be me at about that age, 61, 62. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'll be real salty.
Is that the one with where he dates the woman's daughter or something like that? Is that movie?
Was Helen? Yeah, no, that's
You know,
oh,
that's another Jack Nicholson movie.
that's a
Isn't it?
good
Yeah.
movie. That's a good movie. No, oh God,
I can't.
it's a man.
Something's got to give.
That's it. It's Diane Keaton.
Yeah, that's the one I was. Yeah, Diane Keaton. That's
But at
it.
the
I was
beginning,
like,
he likes all the young girls. He's dating
yep.
Amanda
And then
Peet.
Keanu Reeves
Yeah.
is in it and
Yeah.
everything. Yep. Oh,
Yeah.
That's a great movie.
It is a great movie because
awesome.
it's like he had all this aversion to older women, and then he realized like it's like, oh my gosh, this woman is like really smart,
Yeah.
and really cool, and he just falls for her.
I
But
normally don't fall for those kind of movies, but like when it has really good actors like them, I'll definitely give it a shot. So
yeah,
that was a very enjoyable movie.
yeah, I'm not the romantic comedy type by any means, but if it's
Me
good, if it's a good movie, then I don't mind what genre it is. Like I love As Good as It Gets. I love that movie. Something's Got to Give. Forgive me, Jack. I couldn't remember the name of it there for a second. And oh gosh, the one. See, I'm forgetting the names again. It's Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock, and
Okay.
The Proposal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember
That
that
is
one.
that is
Oh my
such a
gosh.
good movie. Oh my god, yeah. It's and Betty White just makes it.
Yes,
She's-
I
she's
haven't
still-
seen that in a while.
Oh, she steals every scene she's in. She's wonderful. She is a national treasure. That lady. Oh my god.
Yep, she sure is.
But the whole part where like he's trying to get into the shower and she's sneaking out and the dog is harassing her, and then all of a sudden they just mush together and it's like, why are you wet? Why are you sweaty? I mean,
Why are you sweaty?
I just died laughing. Well, Ryan Reynolds is great anyway. I mean,
I know he's
thank
fantastic.
thank you for giving us Deadpool. Finally, a good Deadpool.
Yes.
Like,
Finally.
oh my gosh. Because I'm like, he was disappointed. It makes him surprisingly human. He was so disappointed by X-Men Origins also.
Yeah.
He said that was really one thing he bummed him out. He goes, I'm playing Deadpool, but it's not Deadpool.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
So
weird.
and they were trying to get the movie made. So like that first 5 minutes got leaked online,
Oh,
and
wow.
that's how it got made. Yeah, because that was originally just test footage
Yeah.
to see if
Oh my
if
gosh.
people would react to it. Yeah. Yeah, that dude. Yeah, like I said, this is awesome.
Yeah, he is such a great actor too, and I think his personality matches with how
It couldn't.
when he plays Deadpool, it's like it's natural, and that's
I
what
couldn't
love about
imagine
it. It's
anyone
awesome.
else being
Nope.
able to like be able to improv, like right off the top of his head, like he can.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, they take so many takes and they just take the best stuff, and it's just like hilarious to watch the outtakes and like how many times he said this line differently.
Yeah.
But that's what you've got to do with a character like that. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
so. Oh wow! So we jumped all over the place, but that's okay. We don't have to. We don't have to have a structure to this
Hey, when I
interview.
talk about stuff I'm like interested in, oh my god, oh well, there we go. A little bit too much
Edit,
excitement
edit,
pulling my
edit.
phone off.
Too much
Too
excitement.
much excitement. Yeah, I'll jump all over the place. I'm like, ooh, let me talk about this game. Ooh, let me talk about this movie. Oh my gosh, did
Yeah,
you know this? Like, oh, it's crazy.
yeah. So we were talking about Twitch and Fortnite there. I don't play it. My grandson does. Or he used to be really big into it. But I thought the cool thing was like later on, I was like, another little cheesy shooter game. But then they started getting the skins, and they
Yes.
started getting like X-Men skins, and I'm like, okay, wait, now you have my attention. You
And they
know,
have Marvel skins
Marvel
now.
skins, yeah,
Yes.
because I'm a nerd, and I had a friend that was selling her Switch, and the only reason I would even want to Switch so I could play Marvel Ultimates Alliance 3, which I still haven't been able to play.
Oh wow, I haven't played that yet. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
it's a Switch exclusive. That's why
I have,
it's
yeah,
yeah.
I would like to play that.
But yeah, those old Activision Marvel games where you know it's like it's almost like the old school Gauntlet where there's like four of you. You can play four players, and I always loved those. I was like, oh man, it's like this is so cool. It reminds me of Gauntlet, and oh man, look, you could get the black suit Spider-Man skin and run around, and, you know. I'm a mark for that because I was about 8 years old when that suit came out. Like around the
Yeah.
time the original Secret Wars was coming out. That's when I really started getting into comics, and I was like, it's so much easier to draw.
You don't have to color.
No
That's
more,
funny.
yeah, no more trying to get the little webs right because I used to try to draw when I was a kid, and that was horrible. And
You're just colored in now.
oh, my friend Jay is that's Roughhouse Matthews for those of you follow local wrestling here in Charleston. He likes to ink, so he'll get I like big name, you know, like artists. Like he'll oh gosh, he was inking a page recently. Heck, it might have been anyway. He likes to ink, so he'll get
Yeah.
the original art and then he'll go over it. Like
Okay.
it might have been Jay Lee. Don't quote me on that, but he'll get the stuff. And he's a dang good inker. You know, his stuff looks really good. I'm just starting out. Yeah, we've just only had this channel since October.
That's awesome though.
So
That's
yeah.
really cool.
Well, how much do you know about YouTube?
I've just really used it for music videos or trying to find certain songs or wrestling matches and stuff like that, but I don't really know anything like
You just kind of
about it.
you
Yeah.
just kind of dabble in it, right? So
Yeah, just here and
as a
there.
creator, they make it so hard because you've got to reach certain parameters before they'll even look at your channel and say, okay, well, yeah, we'll give you the AdSense, we'll stick ads on this, and you can make some money, right?
Yeah.
The subscribers, one video, boom, I nailed it because I did a video of my dogs, and everybody loves pets. But trying to get like watch time to like actually get somebody engaged to watching like your entire video or whatever, or to get the view time, they want 4,000 hours. Yeah, I checked it this morning. I'm like at 11:18, so I'm like, well, we're creeping up a little bit slowly.
Oh my gosh, that is insane.
It's pretty tough, yeah, thing to get. And they made YouTube Shorts back in last December. So YouTube Shorts is kind of like their answer to TikTok,
Gross.
which is
TikTok.
mostly which is and really YouTube Shorts ends up being, oh, I posted this on TikTok, so now I'm gonna post it on YouTube, so we're just
Oh
gonna get
my gosh, what?
twice the views. So my dog video was a short, so it got like
Yeah.
tons. So it was in, heck, it's still in beta right now. So it was like when it very first came out, and it got 500,000 views. And I'm like, awesome! I'm at like 3,000 hours. I need 1,000 more hours to go. Yes. Well, shorts don't count
Oh
towards your watch time.
man.
I was so angry. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. YouTube, I was pissed. I'm still
Yeah.
pissed. I'm still
I
pissed.
would be too.
So, so it's like, why? I was like, I've got like 3,000 hours. Why does YouTube say I only have 95 hours of watch time? And then I realized that was the rule. So I just do longer videos now.
Yeah.
If I want to get like if I want to try to get some extra subscribers and something that'll get an easy 500 to 800 views, I'll make my dog do a trick. But
Yeah. Hey, there you go.
to get watch time, you gotta do stuff like this. So do you want to? You have a Twitch yeah, I guess it would be a Twitch handle or whatever. If somebody wants to go, do you want? Let's promote that for sure, since that's what you're doing now.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know everybody knows me as Christi Whiplash, but
Mm-hmm.
as far as like gaming wise and everything, I did change it up a bit to kind of add everything in there. But
Sure.
the username is lady_lashferratu.
And I'll
If
put
anybody
that.
gets it,
I'll put that.
So,
I'll put that in. I'll put that in the description too, so they can find you as well.
Yep. And props to people that actually get why my name is Lashferratu. So,
I get that though.
yeah,
It's
yes, thank you. Some people do, yeah.
Whiplash Nosferatu. I get it. It's a
Yeah.
mash. My wrestling name was a mash.
Yeah.
It was Vanderhoff, right? So
Yeah.
James Vanderberg, who was Sinister Minister,
Okay.
Eric Bischoff.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Oh, that's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, that's how I got the last name anyway. The first name was from a promoter that just said, "Well, you look like a Reggie," and so when I started managing, Reggie became Reginald, and that's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
simple.
one-
So there's some Jason Willis history for folks. I think a lot of people know that, but
Yeah,
I
I
probably
didn't know that. I didn't know you were
Well,
just like a mashup. I thought it was just
yeah,
your name.
yeah.
Cool.
Well, there is. Come now. Here's the story I like to tell people. We'll just chat. Do you remember the first Wayne's World?
Yes, I do.
The sponsor, Noah's Arcade. He was Noah Vanderhoff.
Whoa, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
So I was like, yeah, I stole it from Wayne's World. And no, I'm nowhere near that sophisticated. I didn't even realize until I had that name for a few years, and I'm watching, because I watched that movie drunk the first time I saw it. And me and my friends were out partying. It's like, let's see Wayne's World. So like Wayne's World was even more awesome when you got a buzz.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
upon repeated viewings, like I'm watching the sponsor part, and I was like, oh my god, his name is Noah Vanderhoff. I was like, how ironic is that? So the
That is
story.
kind of strange.
So the story I like to tell is like, yeah, I got that from Wayne's World. I didn't. It was from. It's because I was such a big WCW fan. I thought James Vanderberg was like grossly underused. I liked Mortis and I liked Wrath,
Yeah.
which was Chris Kanyon and Adam Bomb. What was his real name? Brian Clark. Brian Clark. Yeah.
Okay.
So it was those two under Mass, and they really looked like these Mortal Kombat characters almost. They had really cool gimmicks, and then like WCW was famous for doing with luchadors. Oh, we got to unmask people now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which I thought. I always liked the masked people because I thought it added a lot to the gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
Like not everybody needs to use their their real name or like a name that's supposed to be just them.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, like Bret Hart. Bret Hart was always Bret Hart. He was never he's the Hitman,
Yeah.
but he was never like
Overly gimmicked or anything.
Yeah,
He was kind of
right.
like himself.
overly
type thing.
gimmicked. That's a good.
Yes.
I'm stealing it.
Overly gimmicked, and
You
I've
get-
used that before.
Well, you're gonna get credit for it, but if I ever do a T-shirt, that's one of them.
Shoot, yeah, that's awesome.
Overly gimmicked, and this is somebody else's phrase. I don't know if I can use this, but heavily brothered.
Heavily brothered.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh.
heavily brothered is when you're like really wasted.
I would have never guessed that about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have.
Well, I mean, I don't steal it from Skylar, but he's the first guy I heard it from. But he said he got it from somebody else. So,
That's pretty cool, though. Now
Heavily,
that I think about it.
heavily brothered. Yeah, we've been heavily brothered a few times together. Oh, amongst other folks in the business. So pretty
Yep.
cool. Did you ever? Let me ask you this about wrestling. Did you ever work for Roger Gleaton? I think you did, didn't you?
That was
CWA.
CWA in
Yeah.
Orangeburg. Yeah, I did a couple
Yeah.
times. Yep.
So the gathering's coming up on the 22nd, so I'm gonna um, not Roger because we don't know where he's at, but
Oh Lord.
some of those guys that like Joey Nugs and Timber.
Okay. Yeah, I
We're
remember those guys.
we're really heavily involved in that promotion, and me and Dave Garrick was the booker, so we're gonna do like a little CWA roundtable while we're at the gathering, which will be really cool. So
Oh, that's awesome. That's pretty cool.
so 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 fans, if you've listened this far, I've got that coming up. I'm interviewing Crazy Train tomorrow. I don't know if you know Jonathan or not. He's like one of the.
Uh,
I was like, he's like one of the first guys I ever met on the Indies. But I think by 2010 he
what's his
had
full name?
Jonathan Bullock.
I'm trying to think. The Crazy Train sounds familiar. If I saw a picture or something, I'd probably
He
remember.
used to be. Now he's lost a lot of weight. But he used to be a big guy. He had a little teddy bear, and he always wore like the smocks, almost like a Norman the Lunatic type.
Okay. Okay.
So I used to work with him a lot when I worked out for in Columbia. If I did promotion out. Well, hell, there's not a promotion in Columbia I didn't work for. I don't think, but I met him. I met him at Merlin's. The promoter's name was Jason Hutto. But anyway, but one of my trainers trained him, so I would always hear his name. Well, then I finally got to meet him, and we just got together in this is June, right? So
Yeah, it's
early,
still
early,
June.
early May, we had a guy out of Myrtle Beach, and he wanted to honor some folks. So we had a Carolinas Wrestling Hall of Fame down at Holy City Brewery in
Okay.
Charleston. So Crazy Train was a part of that. I know you know Susan Green, right? I've heard of
Yes.
Tex, right?
Yes. Yep.
So her and Tony Rose, who had been a NWA Ladies Tag Champion back like in the mid 70s, like
Hmm.
1975, and she brought the original belt. Yeah, which was
Whoa.
so cool. Yeah, it
Dude,
and Moolah had that belt made.
that's badass. I
Oh,
don't know if I could say that on here, but
no,
that's
no, you could say
badass.
badass. No, because I thought it was badass, and
I was like, whoa.
because I was like, because I said, Tony, do you mind if I pick this up? And she goes, no, and I picked it up. And it's so heavy. I was like, this is the original belt, isn't it? I said, this is the real deal. She goes, oh yeah, that's the one Moolah made for us when they decided to have ladies tag champs. And
That's
I'm
pretty
like,
freaking
I'm like,
cool. That's awesome.
oh my god, yeah. I wasn't sure. I was a little bit hesitant to do that, and we were outside
Yeah.
in the heat, and oh my god, it was hot, so hot. But no, just to see that was a trip. And then Judy Martin showed up, like
Oh my god.
just to visit, and I loved Judy. I love me some
Hmm.
Judy so much. She has been so nice to me throughout the years, and like I was just kind of wandering around FanFest in 2007, just kind of by myself, and she's like, "What are you doing by yourself?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just kind of wandering around." And she goes, "No, you're gonna go with me." And then she like takes me by the arm, and she introduces me to all these people. Like she introduced me to Ted DiBiase, which
Wow.
which was cool because I just worked with him like the night before at CWA, which was funny.
Yeah.
So I said, it's nice to meet you again. He goes, again. He goes, yeah, I just worked with you last night.
Oh wow.
And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry I didn't recognize you. I said, well, I was up in the announcer's booth, so you wouldn't,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have probably wouldn't have seen me much. And then she introduced me to Paul Orndorff, who
Whoa.
who I ne-
Dang.
who
What?
I never thought I would meet. Yeah. Because I'd always heard Paul was kind of like kind of off to himself, that doesn't like to interact with him, but he was so nice,
That's pretty cool.
and I was like,
Golly.
yeah. So Judy took me everywhere, and then like Dave Garrett hooked me up, like he took me into the NWA Legends room.
Yeah.
So there, I've got to tell this story on camera. I think this is the first time I'm ever going to tell it. I hope you'll get a kick out of this.
I probably will.
So in the room is Magnum TA, Arn Anderson, Ron Garvin, and Dr. Death Steve Williams before he passed away. This was 2007.
Okay.
And I'm going to sound like a total mark here, but I don't care. This is my story, and I'll tell it the way I
Hey,
want
go
to.
ahead.
And this is a shoot now. So when I was a kid, about 13 to between 13 and 17, whenever the NWA would come down there, we had an inn. So they would either let us help with the ring, or we were runners. It's me and a friend of mine, long time friend of mine named Mike Peavy. And so we got to do stuff like that as kids. So that's one reason why we became such huge wrestling fans, because we always got to be around those kind
Yeah.
of guys. And we had a guy that was a neighbor, and he had worked for Joe Pedicino. Okay, that was like Southeast Championship Wrestling or something like that. And he had been a referee. So he was in tight with all those guys. And he goes, well, I can get you guys into the wrestling matches. That's no problem. So he took us down there, and we started being those runners. Okay, but let me get to the story. So we're driving Ron Garvin and Wahoo McDaniel back to the airport. Well, we're not driving. Danny's driving. Because I'm like 13. I'm just riding. And I said something to Ron Garvin one time, and I said, hey, I'd really love to get into wrestling. I said, I just love wrestling so much. And he goes, kid, go to school. Don't get in this crazy business like that.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
so fast forward to 2007. So I walk in the room, and my eyes locked right on Ron Garvin. And I was like, so I recount this story. I said, Mr. Garvin, I said, I know you probably don't remember me, because this is probably about 20 years ago. But one time you came to Charleston, you told me never to get in the wrestling business. I said, sir, I'm here to tell you I'm sorry to disappoint you.
Oh.
I broke the room.
Wow.
I broke the no. What I was got me excited about? I broke the room. He starts
This.
laughing. Magnum starts laughing. Doctor Steph he's like, and now me and Doctor Death had been hanging all weekend. He goes and he's like, damn it, Jason, I didn't know you were so funny.
Oh my god.
And so Arn's at another table like signing and he's looking over there like, so, like, what's all this commotion going on? So then David takes me over to meet Arn. It was really cool. He's really cool also. And he says, well, what do you do? And I said, well, I'm a play-by-play commentator for CWA Pro Wrestling. This is like the one that David's involved with. And he goes, commentator. He goes, I don't think anybody appreciates how hard that job is. And I said, well, thank you, like that. I said, I don't think so either. I try to be competent at it, and Dave's like, oh no, Jason's really good. He hosts our TV show and blah 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 blah. And he goes, that's awesome, and we just shook hands. And but the fact that I got to break up the room like that, I was like,
That was your 15 minutes of fame. For
it'll.
me.
I was like,
Awesome.
it doesn't. I was
That
like,
was awesome.
it doesn't get. It's all downhill from here. It won't get any better.
Yeah. Man, that's
Oh, man.
great.
Yeah. So, do you got any stories like that you want to share?
Oh man, I'm trying to think. Like I've been sitting here trying to think about some of my wrestling stuff, and like some of it's like blurry because it went by fast. And
Yeah, I know it happens. We got to
as
remember
far as
you got to remember I'm an old man, and like I had a couple of retirements, but I basically like never. I was always around it and it's been 20 years now. So some
I
stuff.
think
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think really the coolest thing that I remembered was I used to really like Ring of Honor back in the day and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and that was one of the main shows I watched when I wrestled.
Yeah.
And I actually had the opportunity to wrestle Sarah Del Rey, and I
Oh,
was like,
that's
yeah.
amazing.
I
Yes,
can't remember
I
what
love
her name
her.
is now. I know she's like a head trainer or something for WWE, I think.
Doesn't she still use the Sarah Del Rey name?
I'm not sure. I don't know if she goes by that or a real name. I'm not really
Yeah.
sure, but yeah, I remember I got to actually wrestle her once, and that was just like the greatest thing for me, just because like I don't know, it was like an actual very good female wrestler that didn't
Yeah.
just show cleavage and butt and stuff like that. So it was just you know what I mean, like that's
She
what I
wasn't
always
she wasn't
saw
a
back
she
then.
wasn't a diva. She wasn't
Yeah,
a diva. Yeah.
there we go. I hate that
She
word,
was
but
she was
yeah.
she was a wrestler.
Yeah, a wrestler. Yes.
She was a wrestler in a time where they kind of emphasized divas and stuff like that.
Yep, yep. And it was an honor, like actually wrestling her, and I was still new and stuff back in the day, but I was like, I would definitely get my butt whooped by her. That's awesome. Like heck yes, I'm having that one in the
Yeah.
books.
Yeah, anytime I always got to meet somebody like that I either admired or had grown up watching,
Hmm.
I'd be so nervous. I was like, oh my god. And I'm like, be a professional. Don't act like a crazy fan. These people don't want to be around you. Like,
Hmm.
I'm good. You know what? I promised. I promised on another channel. I was gonna tell this story. Christina, will you indulge me, and then I'll let you go if you need to go. Can I
No,
can I
you're good.
can I tell my Sid Vicious story? I have to tell this.
Yes, I love hearing wrestling stories, and so hell yeah.
I have to tell this one.
Sid
I
Vicious, oh god, that's
Well,
great.
you can imagine where this might go.
Yes.
So in 2010, we're in Mount Pleasant, because that's where OCW was running at the time, and they booked Sid Vicious, and it was kind of like, hey, Reputation, right, about Sid, all the crazy stories with Arn, and then Brian Pillman with the squeegee, and he's kind of known for having a temper and really being set in his ways, to say the least, right?
Hmm.
So Sid gets there, and he's kind of sitting by himself, and I don't know if other guys just like don't want to engage because of Reputation or what have you.
Yeah.
And I'm managing the guy. He's going to be wrestling that night in the main event, and I was like, well, I've got to say something, right? So in one of the few acts of bravery in my life, I walk over to Sid and I said, hi, my name is Reggie. I'm managing Hans. That's the gentleman you're going to be wrestling in the main event tonight. He's like, oh, nice to meet you. Sit down. Like, engaging, right? Like, not what I'm expecting.
Oh wow.
So we talked for 2 hours. Because, like I said, he's main event and this show's going kind of long. So we talked for like 2 hours. And we talked about everything from every Fed he's ever been in to, like, I talked about ECW because when I would watch Sid, and I was a fan, I'll admit, I was a fan because he was so impressive physically. When I would watch ECW, when he was there with Judge Jones, he looked like he was having a ball. And so I just said, Sid, can I ask you about ECW? And then the first thing out of his mouth, he goes, yeah, they couldn't pay me, a lot, so I didn't stay long. But he goes, but it was awesome. And
It was
and I'm like,
awesome.
yeah. I said, yeah, because he always looked like he was having a great time out there. Like
Yeah.
fans were just dying for him. And now here's where it gets a little crazy. So at one point, Sid and I have to break off, and I didn't realize, like, in his talks with the promoters, he was very anti-drug, okay? Very
Yeah.
anti-drug, very anti-language. Don't curse a lot around him. So in the course of 15 minutes, he throws out the F word like 4 times, and I'm like, huh, okay, well, I'll let him curse. I'm not going to curse in front of him.
Yeah.
And the other thing was, like, maybe he considers drugs and, like, weed is different,
Yeah.
because he says later on, he's like, Reggie, he goes, can you get me some smoke? And I was like, oh, you need a cigarette? I'm stupid, I was like, oh, you need a cigarette?
Yeah.
My wife smokes, like that. He goes, no, man, some smoke, some weed. And I was like, oh. So of course I know who all the weed heads are in the back.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, let me see what I can do. Well, unbeknownst to me at the time, they were put on, like, secret, no weed restriction, and especially around Mr. Udi. They called him Mr. Udi in the entire time. I just called him Sid, and so Mr. Udi's not into drug, and I didn't know this, right? So I go around to all these guys, and they're telling me they don't have any, and I was like, wait a minute, something's up. You
Yeah.
don't have any. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus, but I'm just saying this particular person, like, you don't
Yeah.
have any. I'm like, that's like me not eating ice cream today or something, because I'm a big guy. I like food. And so I go back to Sid to kind of oh,
No, my earpiece came
you're
out. It's
good.
fine.
Okay. So I go back to Sid kind of disappointingly, and I said to Sid, I was like, kind of weird, but I'm asking around, and, like, nobody's got any. And he goes, He goes, yeah, sometimes I like to smoke it before my match. It just kind of relaxes me, you know. And I said, hey, I have no problem with it. I was like, you know,
Yeah.
you do you, bro. Like I think it should be legal anyway. That's just a political opinion. You don't have to
Yeah.
agree.
I agree.
So,
But
so Sid and I are getting along swimmingly, and then I realize I've spent so much time with Sid, I haven't really said hi to any of the other boys. So I break off for a minute, and I go into the other, like, this building had a lot of separate rooms. It's a really big, it was well as the Omar Shrine Temple, so it's a big building. It's got several rooms in it, and we had curtained off like a big space.
yeah.
So I go into one room, and there's some of the guys are in there, and I was like, hey, hey guys, sorry. It's like, and they're like, hey man, you're over there. You've been over there talking to Sid for a while, and I was like, yeah, and I'm all excited. I'm like, yeah, he's surprisingly cool, like that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we're all marks deep down. That's why
Yeah,
we got
definitely.
it. That's why we get into the business,
Yep. Very
So,
true.
so all of a sudden, this menacing shadow appears over the room, and it's Sid. And Sid's kind of looking around like at all the guys, and everybody's like, like, what's up,
Yeah.
because his face is kind of, like inquisitive, curious, but also a
He's
little
perplexed.
also a little angry because he's Sid. And then all of a sudden he pops out with, guys, you ever get hungry at like 2 a.m. and you just have to make a Taco Bell run? Which I thought was like the strangest question to ever be asked in a locker room. It's like,
That's very random.
so we're all looking at each other, and I was like, yeah, I like tacos. I was like, look at me, I like tacos. I'm like, and I'm looking at him like, because I've been talking to him the whole time. I said, dude, are you hungry? I said, I'll run to Taco Bell real fast if you want some. He goes, nah, just sometimes at 2 a.m. you got to make that run, And he walks out of the room, and I'm like, well, that was very,
What?
I'm like, so that I was like, that was very strange and random, more random than anything we had been talking about.
Yeah.
So, fast forward the story. So we get to the match, and Sid was nice enough. He laid out some spots for me. He goes, now you got this tennis racket. You kind of do like the cornet thing. And I said, yeah, you've been around him. I said, probably pissed him off, right? And he goes, man, fuck cornet. You do what you want. I'm like, oh, well, okay. I'm like, hey,
Oh my goodness.
who am I to argue with Sid freaking Vicious, right? Sorry, I threw out an F-bomb. Sorry, YouTube, don't ban me. So I'm like, who am I to argue with him? He goes, nah, I'd probably get a kick out of it like that. And I'm like, well, I was never brave enough to talk to Jimmy to ask him how he felt about me doing that. Though
Yeah.
I do have a picture from him that says, Reggie, you're a gimmick stealing punk, F you. Some guys got
Oh
me
my
that.
God.
Yeah, some of the boys got me that picture. I was at a convention that I couldn't go to, but Jimmy
Oh
was there.
wow.
So I have that picture. I was like, that's the closest thing to an endorsement I can get, I guess.
Yeah.
But back to Sid. So he goes, so it's at this point in the match, I want you to pop me with a racket. I'm like, all right, cool. Yeah, he's giving me a spot. I was like, yeah, I'll hit Sid Vicious with a racket. Why not?
Yeah, sure, why not?
So we get out there, and I cut my promo on him, and the boys were daring me to do this, like some of my friends. And he goes, say, tell him you don't respect anybody that ran from RoboCop, because they were talking about Capital Combat 1990. Have you ever seen that pay-per-view?
What is it? What is it? It
Capital
broke up a little bit.
Capital Combat 1990.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's called The Return of RoboCop, and they literally have a guy dressed as RoboCop, and he comes out to save Sting. Sting gets locked in this little cage, and RoboCop pulls the bars off this cage and frees Sting. Right. Well, the
Why
Horsemen.
did I not know that?
You have to go to the.
I love RoboCop anyway, so and that's crazy.
Peacock, it's Peacock now, not the network anymore. I'm sure it's on there. You have to see this.
I'm definitely gonna check that out.
So in the course of this, my friends are like ribbing me. Rib him about RoboCop, because it's like one of the worst reviewed pay-per-views of all time. Like, RoboCop comes out there and he's walking like, 2 miles an hour, right? Because he's doing the movie thing, right?
Yeah.
And there's all these silly. So the Horsemen are running away from this guy that can't move, like, and he's in this RoboCop suit. But they run away, they're terrified of RoboCop, right? So I say to Sid, I don't respect anyone that ran from RoboCop like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sid does this and slaps me.
Oh.
And I wasn't expecting the slap.
Oh man.
And I'm on the ground and I'm like waiting to try to find the rest of my jaw, and surprisingly it's still there. And I was like, hey, that's cool. He didn't hurt me at all. I was like, it made good sound, but it didn't hurt. I was like, okay, I'm still alive. All right, me and my buddy Sid, we're still good, right? You know,
Wow, that's so funny.
I do the racket spot and everything. And actually back here, I could probably try to show it, but my daughter made Sid Fear's RoboCop because that was the joke the whole week, and he actually signed it.
That's awesome.
Anyway, so we get to the back. Now here's where it gets scary. So we get to the back, and I said, and Sid, my friend Sid doesn't look happy anymore. And I said, hey, everything okay? And he goes, you were great. He goes, you did. I mean, he's put his hand on my shoulders. He goes, you were awesome. He goes, I thank you so much. He goes, but I need to talk to that guy that I wrestled, and I need to talk to the promoter right now. And I'm like, uh-oh. I was like, what happened? I was like, what happened? Well, he claimed that the guy on, like, the spot was tennis racket, he's going to stagger forward, big body slam, right?
Yeah.
Well, he claimed on the body slam that the guy didn't turn him properly, and he landed on his shoulder, and he's like, hey, look, kid, you could tear somebody's shoulder out like that. And, so the guys apologized a little bit, and then he got in the promoter's face, and I mean angry, and he was like, this is the kind of show that kills crowds, and it was way too long, and you've got some really crappy workers here, and wow, like he's flipping out.
Whoa!
And I'm like,
heck?
and I was like his switch went like that, and I was like, oh, this is exactly what everybody was talking about. I was like, now we got scary Sid.
Oh Lord, that would be scary.
needless to say, I think, because apparently he was saying stuff like this unbeknownst to me when I was around him, and I didn't hear any of this. So a lot of the boys were kind of unhappy at this point with him. So this circle starts forming around. Now I know if anybody tried to mess with Joe, there was going to be a fight,
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, I think he realized he was outnumbered 11-1, and was like, okay, I might want to get out of here. So he signed my poster, made an early exit, and I haven't seen Sid since, except on TV.
Wow, that is insane.
So wait, it gets better, and I'm not gonna throw this person under the bus, but
Mm-hmm.
a very well established name in this business, who I respect. He was there the next month, and everybody's telling this story because the big story has been Sid this, Sid that,
Mm-hmm.
Sid was an asshole, Sid this. And so I recanted the story exactly the way I told it to you just now. And I said, I don't know why, but he acted like I was his little buddy the whole time. And he goes, he's just weird, man. And just shook his head, and he goes, he's just weird, man. He goes, hell, you're lucky you showed up. Because he has he has this big reputation for not showing up. And I just, so what reminded me of Sid, have you ever watched any videos by Hannibal TV?
No, I haven't actually. No.
Yeah, I kind of made fun of Hannibal, and I think the Canadian fans are mad at me because it's got it's got 5 likes and 5 dislikes, which is my worst like to dislike ratio of any video I've had so far. And Hannibal gets a lot of, like, he used to wrestle for Deep South and Ohio Valley, so he's pretty well known, and I guess he knows a lot of people because he manages to get really good interviews. But he'll do live streams, and it's like he'd be wearing a hoodie, and it's the same background every time. This is Hannibal from Hannibal TV. He's really monotone, right?
Yeah.
So for the first 2 minutes of my video, I put a hoodie on, and the WWE releases they just had, a couple days ago, I was like, this is Jason from Jason the Willis Show. How is everyone? Let's go over the releases. Just mocking Hannibal,
Oh my
right?
God.
But I was doing it out of fun. Because the point of the video is, like, if anybody watches that far in, it's like, why are we trashing each other?
Yeah.
I want to be successful. I'd like to be where he is. I'd like to be successful. Corny's definitely successful. He's Jim Cornette. And
Yeah.
Conrad Thompson is the other big name in podcasting now. And, of course, he married Ric Flair's daughter. And he's probably signing a new podcast right now while we're talking. Because it seems
Oh
like
God.
because, I mean, he just got the one with Jeff Jarrett, and now he's got one with Kurt Angle. He's huge,
Oh,
right?
nice.
But apparently, those two have problems with Hannibal. So I was just like, hey, let Hannibal do his thing. You do your thing. We'll do your thing. Let's try not to beat each other up. Well, I guess people thought I was beating up on Hannibal by doing that 2-minute introduction where I kind of made fun of it. But the whole point was, but the punchline was that he's in Canada and I'm down here in Charleston, right?
Hmm.
So I have the hoodie on, and after about 2 minutes, I like take the hoodie off and and like I can't do it. I can't do it. I live in Charleston. I live in Charleston. It's 100 degrees here. How do you wear a hoodie when you do your live stream? I was like, oh my god, like right.
Oh Lord.
And then so, but yeah. So Hannibal had, I think I know he used to run this promotion called Great North Wrestling, but I think he runs a promotion in Texas now. But anyway, wherever he was, Sid was on the show, and it just
Yeah.
made me think of that whole scenario. I was like, oh my god, there's my buddy Sid, and now he's 62, but he's still choke slamming people. I don't think he's well enough to do any power bombs, but he can still do choke slam.
Oh man. That's
Because I mean, he's older. Like
Yeah.
he even said, 10, 11 years ago. One of his complaints was he's like, hey, the guy I'm wrestling, he's too big. You book me, they want to see the power bomb. I need some smaller guys, to
Yeah.
work with. And I'm like, now that I think about it, I was like, well, that's not totally unreasonable. But they wanted to book the match they wanted to book. But I think the compromise was they had like John Skyler and Michael Freely run out and try to do a run in, and he got to power bomb them too.
Yeah.
Because Skyler's like 3 years in, and he's like, I'll take a power bomb. I don't care. So, if you've ever spent any time around him, I love to make fun of John. If you close your eyes and listen to a Matt Hardy audio, or listen to John, I can't tell who's who.
Oh my gosh.
Unless
yeah,
I-
I've been
unless-
around. I've been
Unless
around him on
unless
a
I
few
know,
shows.
yeah, unless I know unless I know, I was like, okay, that's John.
That's great.
They do.
That's
They
awesome.
they sound alike. I swear, it's crazy. But good for that guy, because I think I know he's doing a lot of stuff for AEW, or he was doing a lot of stuff for AEW. And then I think he just had another like performance center tryout and stuff like that. So good for him.
Okay, that's awesome.
Yeah, I like it. I like when guys I know like do well.
I do too. I look at it on
Yeah.
Facebook all the time and I see everybody. I'm like, yes, they made it. Yes. I get
Yeah.
so excited. Like,
And like James Drake was really, I mean, the 3 or 4 matches that I saw him have, and I mean, I was like, wow, you talk about like bringing somebody in and making them really look good. Like that match we had with Eddie Kingston was incredible. Yeah, so just proud of my Carolina guys.
I know I'm too. I'm proud of like all the people that I would say grew up with in wrestling and stuff. It was
Yeah.
it's really cool to see them where they are now. And
And of course, FTR, greatest tag team in the world. I'll say it to anybody. And,
FTR?
yeah, do you know? Okay, this is how you're gonna probably
is
remember
this?
him. Do you remember? Do you remember Casey McKnight or Steven Walters?
Yes.
Okay, Steven is Cash Wheeler now.
Yes, I do
was
know that. Yeah.
Remember the revival in WWE?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
so they're in AEW now as FTR. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay,
Yep.
cool.
I thought you said you watched AEW.
I don't watch it. I kind of go on YouTube and like
Yeah.
look at different shows and watch certain matches
Yeah,
just to
yeah.
see how different and stuff it is. And
Yeah, it's cool because they have a stable. Like Tully Blanchard is their manager, and it's them and Sean Spears and oh gosh, MJF, who I love because he's like always in character, like 24/7 in character. It's hard for me to be in character all the time because it's like, God, that Reggie's really a jerk, and I have My wife has my wife has tax clients. I can't be mean to them when she's trying to do people's taxes. So it's like,
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I mean, you could, but I mean,
well, here's another dumb story. This one's a lot quicker. So she had these tax clients for years, and I walk in and they know me from OSCW, right? But they'd never met me before. So I came in. I'm like, I think I was dropping off lunch or something, and I'm like, hey, honey, and hey, here's lunch. Love you. It's like tax season's real busy. Give her a
yeah.
kiss, and walk out. And they're like, oh my God, do you know who that is? And he's like, and it's like, yeah, that's my husband. He's like, you're married to him?
Uh-oh.
And they
Busted.
and she's like, and she's like, yeah, and she's like, wait a minute, he's not really that way at home, is he? And she's like, oh my God. So she goes, in the middle of doing taxes, you really want to talk wrestling now? Because I've
Oh my
burned
gosh.
I've burned her out. She's so detached from all of this craziness.
Oh, really?
It was funny, but now I've got to know them, so they're cool people. Like about a month ago, I was up in Orangeburg, and they were up there
Oh,
because
that's pretty cool.
they're just one of these couples. They just like to travel to independent shows
Yeah.
sometimes just to check them out and something different, and they just happened to show up, and I said, "Oh my God, what are you guys doing here?" And it's like, well, we could have went here, which was a lot closer, or they were thinking about going to maybe like Spartanburg, or heck,
Yeah.
PWX might have been running Rock Hill that night. I don't know, but anyway, it was a lot. The place they were talking about was a lot further. She goes, so we just figured we'd come here. It's like, we didn't think you'd be here. I was like, well, this is the first gig I've had in 2 years, so yeah, I'll be over there. I said, you won't see me. I'll be over here behind this curtain. I'm doing commentary for. They don't really have TV. They have more like, they got a hard cam, or they got my cam.
Yeah.
It's a cool little promotion. It's just there's some technical things that we got to clean up with the production, but I can't be a cameraman and I already talked to promoters about this. I said, look, I can be a promoter, or I can be a camera. I'm sorry, not a promoter. I said I can be a commentator, or I can be a cameraman. Which is it?
You can't do both. That'd be
I can't.
weird.
Yeah, I can't do it. I said I know how to do this. Because I took one reason I got back into this, because I took video production and things like that. I went back to school, and I'm like, well, I want to do something. I got this grant, and I was like, well, I want to do something fun and interesting and stuff. I said, I'll take the film and video program. Why not? And so I did that for a little while, and I learned how to use stuff like a lot of the Adobe stuff. I don't know if you're familiar with those programs like Audition and Premiere and Final Cut and all that. Yeah, so you learn how to do all that, and then 8 years go by, and I was like, I never used it. I was like, and I used to have the programs. I don't anymore, because my PC is like super slow. It's probably one I've had for 10 years, and so I was like, well, and I was trying to find something to do during all this COVID stuff, because I had some. I know I'm talking a lot.
Oh no, you're good.
No, we just had some personal family stuff. Like my stepfather passed away, and my mom was out in Texas.
Man, I'm sorry.
My mom was out in Texas, and she was in Texas because she loved her husband. It's not because she loved Texas. So she wanted to come back to Charleston, so we got her moved, and it's been a rough year and a half, and I forgot where I was going with the story actually, but I was trying to find something to do during this COVID, because in the midst of this, I had to make 3 or 4 trips to Texas, and finally I just told the people I was working for, I said, look, I said, my mother's going through. This is not a situation where I can hold down, especially right after Memorial Day.
Yeah.
When they basically opened things back up again. Well, we couldn't get people back, so this little part-time job that I had 20 to 25 hours a week that was kind of fun became a full-time job at like 40 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
And, my mom is not doing well, and I'm like, guys, I can't do this. You got to get me some help, or I can't do it because there's just too much going on right now. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't think people realize when somebody passes, you just, I think they expect you. It's like, well, okay, yeah, somebody in your family died. Well, we'll see you next week back at work. I mean, sometimes it doesn't.
Oh,
You don't get over that stuff that easy. And I know my mother's personality, and she's still, she's still suffering with it. I didn't mean to get into a
oh
discussion
no, you're
about
fine.
mental
You're
illness,
perfect.
but anyway, the long and short of it was, okay, what am I going to do now that I don't have this job? So somebody from the place I was doing karaoke at recommended podcasting. So that's kind of where this came in. It used to be an audio podcast, like, uh, and I had another dude who is cool that he watches the current product, but at the same time he just kind of stopped being reliable. And I do have a female co-host, but it's summertime, and she's 24 and she's running around with her friends. So,
Yeah.
well, well, what are you doing for the Fourth? And she goes, well, I'm going down to Savannah. I think like they have the beach down there, Tybee Island down there, and the beach and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, I said, hey, I'm not gonna say no, you can't go. It's not like
Yeah.
it's not like I'm 1099ing you anyway and like paying you a ton of money to do this. I know this is just for fun, so.
Yeah.
I'm like, I said, I said, you sure you can't do this? I said, because I got a young lady on. It's like at one time she thought about wrestling, and I said, I'm gonna have a young lady on here that's used to be a ladies wrestler. I said, be good for somebody to talk to if you still want to try to do that. And she goes, well, I don't get off work until like 9 o'clock. And I was like, nah, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
I said, so what do you do? I said, well, what do you do on the weekend? Well, I'll go back to Savannah. And I was like, well, I guess I'll see you after the 4th.
Yeah. True.
So I'm flying solo, and I'll have to fly solo at the gathering, but it'll be cool because I'm supposed to have Baby Doll and Samantha.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll do that CWA roundtable, and then we'll have Tatanka at our table. If I can get Tatanka, I'm gonna try to interview anybody I can interview over the 4 days.
That's awesome. I really like this though. I like the podcast stuff. I haven't really been on any podcasts or been involved with them, but this is pretty cool. I really like this a
Yeah,
lot.
thank you. I no, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you. I appreciate you being on and putting up with all the crazy stories. I feel like I
Oh
talked a
no,
lot
I'll talk
tonight.
about anything, like especially if I know a lot about it.
Mhm.
I will not shut up. So
Yeah.
like
No, but I love that Sarah Del Rey story. That was cool. Was there anybody else like that? There was just like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm in the ring with this person. Or
um
so you said you had to wrestle a lot of dudes. I kind of understand that at that time. That was
yeah, I did. And no, another person that was there, I can't remember what his name is now. But it used to be Claudio Castagnoli back in
yes,
Ring of Honor. They were there
yes.
together and stuff, and I mean not together, but you know what I mean, like
Well, he
at the
used
same
to.
shows. So
Was it Chris Hero? He used to team with Chris Hero.
yeah, Chris Hero. Yep,
Oh
yep.
yeah, yeah. Cassius
But he was
Ohno
there.
now, but yeah.
Yeah, and I remember meeting him as well, and it was I don't know, just from watching like it was almost like I was I don't know, marking out for the Ring of Honor people more than I was like watching WWE just because it was so much better at the time.
Oh, it was. Well,
So yeah, so I was like, "What? These people are awesome, great."
we had a big me and my friends had a big ring. They would come to like Concord and Charlotte and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if we weren't booked, ooh, excuse me, jambalaya and tacos, not a good mix. Um, no, that's been my meals today, and I was like, ooh, this is probably a bad choice. But my mother wanted to go out for tacos earlier. But yeah, we had that big Ring of Honor phase. As a matter of fact, of course he's Seth Rollins now, but he was Tyler Black then.
Yep.
And he was doing almost like Punk did with the Summer of Punk, where he was like, okay, I'm signed with the WWE, but I'm gonna punk out all these people as long as it's like, hey, basically I'm gonna take the Ring of Honor title with me to the WWE, which was kind of a cool,
Yeah.
yeah, which was kind of a cool gimmick.
I
So
remember all that too. That
so
was pretty awesome.
and he yeah, he wrestled like Davey Richards that night, which was such a good match. Oh, he's coming back.
Davey Richards is?
Yeah, Davey Richards is
Oh,
coming
that's
back.
fantastic. He was one of my favorite wrestlers in Ring of Honor. Like I had few of them, but he was one of the ones I really enjoyed, like even watching to like study his moves so I could be more like it. You know what I mean? Just because I
Oh yeah.
like the technicalities and oh
Oh
man, it was
yeah. He's
great.
I think PWX got him to
Oh
come
yeah,
in. Yeah. I think so. I'd have to talk to Brian again. That's the promoter up there. But I'm pretty sure that's who he's working for because I want to say it's the same weekend as the Fan Fest.
yeah.
And I was talking to Thomas Simpson, and Thomas was like, "Well, he's going to be at one or the other because I know Brother's not going to do both." I said, "Well, don't get me wrong." I said, "I love me some Davey, but like the way he kayfabed me that one day, it made me very sad." Well, I was just
Man.
there. I was just there as a fan. I don't think he realized I was like, I don't know if I even if I go into different promotions, I'm like, well, I'm still one of the boys.
Yeah.
And I just, I just asked him simply for a picture. Well, he wanted me to buy like the $25 T-shirt and the $15 8x10. I was like, well, slow your roll. I was like, you. I said, here, you take the selfie with me first, and then I'll, like,
Yeah.
we're trying to out kayfabe each other, and then I said, well, I'll try to get that picture with Davey, and that was a no-go. I said, I guess he thought I was just some jabron.
Jabron. I haven't heard somebody say jabroni in a long time. That's awesome.
I still use that word. I still use that
That
word.
is so cool.
Oh, sorry.
Jabroni. Nice.
I'll either say jabroni or I'll shorten it to jabron. I'm like,
Jabron. I'm bad about shortening words.
I'm like,
If you watch me and my best friend on Fortnite, like we literally shorten everything in there. It's like our own language. It's amazing. It's great.
got the gamer language. It's like, okay.
Oh yeah.
So so we talked about a little bit about Fortnite. How do you do? Are you good at it?
Well, in my eyes, I am. Well, no. I mean, I'm good.
Well,
As
I
far
could
as
put you
like,
with the sharpshooter we have in our house, and we can find out.
yeah. The only thing I'm not great at is the building. I know enough
okay.
to like protect myself and like build around me if I need to, but I can't build the castles and stuff. Like, no, I want to fight. I want to battle. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, protect yourself, but I want to go in there.
Do you want a gamer hint?
Yeah. What's
He
up?
somehow he got I guess like a gaming keyboard. Now he can use it with his Xbox,
Yeah,
but
the
he got
keyboard and mouse.
the keyboard and mouse. Yeah, and
That's what my husband does. He switched over to that. And
yeah. Now I know for Fortnite it makes the building like extremely fast. The faster you.
oh
can
yeah,
play,
it's almost unfair. Like I automatically know when I get killed, I'm like,
Yeah.
that was a PC player, and I go
Yeah.
and look, and I'm like, I was right. Like I was right.
It's the same. It's the same thing with Dead by Daylight. I can tell the people that are using PC or something else because
Oh yeah.
they just seem ungodly faster
Yeah.
as like killers and stuff. It's just like I was like, okay, this is one of those. And I know for Xbox when you sign in, like as the game's getting ready to load, if they have a little globe by their name, they're on a different platform, and a lot of those people are PC.
Yeah. That's right.
So yeah.
I think I'm good at it. A lot of people tell me I'm good at it. I think I make up for it with my aim and strategy and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
a lot of people like to go in for kills, and I'm just all about winning the match, And I tell people all the time, like, if you play with me, I'm all for the team player. I don't go over here and you don't go over there like we're a freaking team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I really enjoy doing that and strategizing and actually wanting to win the game. Not just like, oh, let me get a great weapon and just shotgun everybody to death. Like, no,
Yeah.
I just
No, I was amazed. Like I'll watch Donovan sometime, and I'm like, he is amazingly stealthy. I was like,
I like being stealthy.
because sometimes I'll admit I'm not like the huge gamer, and I'll rush right in, and it's like no wonder I get killed because I'm just like
I know.
So when the few times that we will play something together, like I'll just be the kamikaze guy. It's like, all right, I'll come right in. I'll be the sacrificial lamb, and you guys go get whatever we're supposed to get. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Yeah, I'm very
terrible
stealthy.
aim.
I try not to go
Yeah.
very aggressive.
Well, I've learned
I'm not that aggressive, but
I've learned you have to be stealthy on Dead by Daylight for sure. Like I said, that's probably that and Madden are probably the two games I probably play the most. And I know there's some new stuff out there that I'm gonna try. I finally played and finished Kingdom Hearts 3. I loved that. Yeah,
Oh wow, I
was
haven't
cool.
tried that.
It's on Game Pass. Yeah. Or
You have to get it.
well, wait, you're on PS4, right?
Yeah, I have both. I have
Oh yeah, both.
PS4 and
Yeah, I
yeah.
know it's on Xbox Game Pass. Yeah, I know it's on there because that's where I got it. Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I have to check that out.
I love those. I used to love those games. Oh my gosh.
I didn't even
'Cause
realize there was another one out.
well, we used to be PlayStation people, and Kingdom Hearts used to be exclusive to the PlayStation. So we played 1 and 2. Oh my god! In part 1, that Sephiroth level was so, oh god, that it's one of the Final Fantasy characters, and it was just you had to
Yeah,
fight him.
Sephiroth. Yeah.
Yeah, you had to fight him in this arena, and it's really all timing, but it was so frustrating until
You want to talk to somebody about Final Fantasy? My husband, oh my god, he could probably tell you like in great detail about all those games. Like it's crazy.
I don't know any. I rarely played it. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about it. Now
Crazy.
my oldest son was huge into those games.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just, like I said, I dabble in it. I'm just not a huge gamer. But I kind of like what I like.
Yeah.
I made this video. I was trying to find my niche, and wrestling's always going to be a part of this channel. But I was trying to find some other things to talk about. And I made this stupid little video called Boomer Gaming, and I'm like, and I'm playing Galaga, right, old school Galaga, and I'm like, like you little millennials, you don't know nothing about gaming. It's like, do you know how many quarters I lost on this game when I was a kid? And you don't have a beat to be continued button. I was like, you don't get any cool rewards. It's like, you know what the reward was? If you got the top score and you get to push your initials in. It's like, yeah, how lame is that?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh, it sounds funny. It only got 27 views. I was very disappointed. I thought
Hey,
it
it's
would
worth a try. Something for memories.
Hey, I thought it would be funny to have like somebody my age trying to get in, and then I would play like some of the newer games. Watch this boomer get killed in 2 minutes. Because he doesn't know how to play.
That's pretty funny.
Well, there's I mean, with YouTube, there's a lot of competition. Like that's probably the most competitive niche you can get into. Is gaming, because even the people that are real popular now and they're doing other stuff. I mean, that's where they started. Like PewDiePie and all those guys, Mr. Beast and all that. So
Yeah.
now Mr. Beast does crazy things, but his channel is incredibly creative. I see how people like it. So he observed these squirrels in his yard, and he decided to make like this squirrel feeder, like almost try to make this Olympic type track, almost what was it, like Wipeout for squirrels or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then he he had it was like 5 or 6 different squirrels in his yard, and trying to find a creative way to get them to the squirrel feeder, and I mean, he like gave them nicknames and everything, like the white one had a certain name.
That's
But
neat.
it was the coolest. It's one of the coolest videos I've ever seen. And I was like, this guy is creative. That's for sure. I never would have thought to do. What's up?
My phone's popping up saying 5%.
Oh, well, we'll wrap it.
Oh
We
my
can wrap.
Lord.
We can wrap it. We can wrap it. But just real quick on that video. So yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, he really did some research. I mean, he put a lot of thought into that, and I'm like, I was like, I'm a creative guy, but I just don't. Well, first I couldn't build all that stuff,
Yeah.
and I was like, maybe this guy's got a crazy amount of time. Well, I heard he's like a millionaire now from
Oh,
YouTube, so maybe he's got the time. Like,
Maybe he does.
hey,
Yep.
if this channel takes off and I start making some good bank from YouTube, like. It's like, hi, I'm Jason, and today we're going to build our own Batmobile.
Oh, man.
Get the stuff that
Great.
it looks like the turbine engine coming out of the flame, like the old school Batman.
Yes. Oh my god, that big. Oh my gosh, what the heck was that? That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I don't know.
Oh,
Hey,
man.
Christy, it's real good to talk to you. I don't want your phone to like go completely dead. on
It
us.
keeps popping up, and I'm like, oh crap, I keep forgetting to say it. I'm so
Ah, well,
sorry.
that's okay. We'll get off of here. Oh, it got dark because my PC screen went off, but I won't keep you. Hey, again, congratulations. You and Kyle. I wish you much
Thank you very
happiness. I
much.
hope you if you find a venue, let me know. At least I'll pop in and say congratulations, stuff like
Oh,
that.
absolutely. I definitely will. I
And
definitely will.
have DJ equipment will travel. Just saying.
Shoot, yeah. Yeah. Potty.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I have a blast at weddings. It's just it's fun. So yeah, but thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, for real.
I loved talking about wrestling and gaming and stuff, and
Hmm.
and good luck to you on your Twitch channel. I'll be I'll be checking it out and popping in from time to time and stuff.
Awesome. I really appreciate
And
that.
like I
And I
said,
really appreciate you having me on here and any other time and
no
that you
problem.
want to have another one, I'm down for it. Especially
Oh
horror
yeah,
movies. I mean, come on now. I can
oh
talk
yeah.
about that all day.
Yeah, I like to
All day.
yeah, I like to do follow ups every once in a while. So I'll contact you. We might do one here down the road. Yeah, I
Shoot,
have to
yeah.
figure I have to figure out some good horror topics to talk about because I need to go back and watch some of that really old stuff like Nosferatu and stuff. I haven't.
Hey, you
It's
need to
not,
check out Reanimator. Have you seen it?
no, I know what it is and everybody raves over it and
What?
I
My
haven't
shirt. That's what I'm wearing as my shirt right now.
I just haven't seen it. I know
It is great.
it's a classic. I know everybody tells me it's like dude watch, but I don't know. I'm not the hugest horror guy. Okay, all right. I'll tell you what. We'll do a follow up in a few months. I promise to watch Reanimator,
Thank you. There's three
and we'll
movies, but just watch the first one. Just
all
watch
right.
it.
Okay. I'll make a deal with you. I'll watch Reanimator, and the next time we get together, we'll talk about Reanimator. And then if you want to like PM me and stuff, it's like okay, you need to check this out. You need to check this out. And we'll do Christy and Jason's horror movie reviews.
That would be awesome. Oh my
And then we
gosh.
can and then we can pick some other ones which we think absolutely suck. We can bash The Conjuring again.
That's fine with me. Those movies just like, oh my god, enough with it.
Yeah, I
Yes.
hear you. I want my Nightmare on Elm Street. Damn it. All
Yep,
right,
I agree.
Christy, thank you. I appreciate everything, and
No problem. You
I'm gonna
too.
let you enjoy the rest of your night, and take care, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you too, man. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
take care. You too.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.